Senge doesn't mind. I will speak in Bahasa for now. So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi. Kami sampaikan terima kasih atas kehadiran rekan-rekan Bapak Ibu baik dari UNS maupun dari luar UNS dan adik-adik mahasiswa baik dari UNS maupun mungkin dari Tanjung Pura, Universitas Tanjung Pura, Pontianak ya, dan dari tempat lain yang mungkin tidak bisa saya sebutkan satu persatu. Kami ucapkan terima kasih banyak atas kehadirannya untuk guest lecture pada hari ini. Baik, guest lecture pada hari ini bertemakan dampak perubahan iklim terhadap irigasi atau the impact of climate change on irrigation yang akan disampaikan oleh Profesor Dr. Masateru Senge dari United Graduate School of Agricultural Science, Gifu University, Emeritus Professor. Oke, mungkin saya tidak akan berlama-lama lagi. Oh maaf, sebelumnya maaf saya terlupa. Marilah kita mulai guest lecture kita pada hari ini dengan membaca basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Semoga apa yang akan disampaikan oleh Profesor Masateru Senge nanti ini memberikan kemanfaatan untuk kita, baik kemanfaatan keilmuan di dunia maupun untuk akhirat nanti. Amin. Dengan demikian maka saya tidak akan berlama-lama lagi untuk mata kuliah untuk kuliah guest lecture ini. Waktunya akan 1,5 jam dari sekarang insya Allah sampai pukul 13 waktu Indonesia bagian Barat. Oke, baik. Profesor Senge.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your acceptance for this guest lecture. Your topic is very important, especially for the agricultural lecturers, researchers, and our students. We will now would like to start this guest lecture. Professor Senge, the time is yours. Please start your lecture. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me as a lecturer today. I would like to express my gratitude to many people here. I hope my lecture will be of some significance to all of you. It is a limited time of just over 1 hour, but I am making effort to provide a meaningful time for you. First of all, let me introduce myself briefly. My name is Masateru Senge. I am now 66 years old. My major is hydrology, soil physics, irrigation and drainage, and water resource. I already retired from Gifu University in March of this year. When I was a professor at Gifu University, I conducted doctoral research supervised for many Indonesian researchers. The first is Dr. Fandi, 2003, now lecturer of Ampo University. The second is Professor Bustomi Dosadi, 2006. He was professor of Rampo University. The third is Dr. Komaria, as you know well, 2008. She is now lecturer of Subras Maret University. The fourth is Dr. Arianto, as you know well, 2016. He is now lecturer of Subras Maret University. And fifth is Dr. Zufudu Rozaki. He was graduate from Subras Maret University. He get doctor degree 2017. He is now lecturer of Universitas Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. The last is Dr. Ali Rahmat. He graduate Rampo University. He get doctor degree 2018. Now he Indonesian Institute of Science. In my lecture today, I will introduce my research papers, and all of the papers are uploaded as PDF files in the website of Research Map. So you can read and download the original text. However, you will need a password to read this PDF file. The password number is written here, 194541101. This site is provided by Japan Society Technology and Agency. I written.
Penting banget ini. Kasihan kamu, Sen. Kok jadi nenekku di atas, Sen?
Okay.
Yes.
Oh,
yes, please continue.
Okay.
Sorry.
Prior to this lecture, I would like to introduce one of my favorite Japanese sentences. At February this year, when the medical supplies such as masks were in short supply in China due to the influence of the coronavirus, this sentence was attached to the relief supplies sent to China by Japan, and it became a hot topics among China's people. I have a question to Dr. Kumaria. Please read all characters kanji. Please. What is this?
Sankenkoto.
これ何？これは。
川ですね。
川、これは？
こと。
異なる。different。
difference や。
地域。
地域
ね。これは？
地域。それは山ですね。山川。
ウィンドウ。
川は何ですか？
三川。
三軒こと地。
Okay.
I forgot. Okay. Great.
これはウィンドやろ？
Wind, yes.
で、これは？
風、月、
ムーンね。
Moon, yes.
これは？
Moon, 銅。Same, yes. Tang is heaven. Tang.
Yes. Good.
Thank you so much.
It is a phrase that means even if you live in different places, natural feature, example, wind and moon are connected on the same sky.
Yeah.
This person was given this sentence more than 1,300 years ago. His name was Ganjin, and very famous priest. He came to Japan from China. This sentence was embroidered on the 1,000 kasaya. Kasaya means a Buddhist cross presented to China by Japanese Prince Nagaya. Ganjin priest was deeply impressed by this sentence and decided to go to Japan at the risk of his life. I want to share this sentence with you here. I think that climate change is a common issue that must be faced for us for live in different environments, as well as coronavirus, which are prevalent all over the world today. So today's topics is the impact of climate change on irrigation, which are common problem that we have been facing in agriculture. Today's lecture consists of 4 items. The first is a background that explains the phenomena of climate change affects the irrigation. After that, I will introduce the 3 strategies that my international student has studied in my laboratory under my supervision. The first is I will explain about the background of this lecture's topics. The background photo on this slide is the campus of Gifu University. Our campus is a wonderful environment surrounded by various kinds of trees. Climate change issue was emerged from the global warming phenomenon. The global warming is resulted from the global energy imbalance at the top of the atmosphere. Instead of incoming solar radiation, the atmosphere heating is mostly caused by the trapped emitted infrared radiation due to human influence, such as fuel burning, deforestation, industrialization, and so on. From this picture taken from the Ocean State Report in 2016, we can see that the half to 1 watts per square meter of the excess heat from human activity is trapped in the atmosphere, and approximately 3% is absorbed by land, 4% to melt the ice, and mostly 93% is absorbed the ocean. That trapped heat in the atmosphere is promoting uneven air temperature, temperature warming, and also promoting variability of precipitation. This slide shows the concept of variability of precipitation. The uneven increasing of air temperature is resulting to increasing variability of precipitation in spatial and temporal. Spatial variability means that the precipitation is very high in some areas, like this, but very low as the other parts, like this. Meanwhile, the temporal variability means that in 1 year, the precipitation is very high in some periods, like this, but there is almost no precipitation in another period, like this. High variability of precipitation in spatial and temporal lead to the low availability of precipitation as water resources. This figure is showing the projected uneven distribution of global precipitation. If the global warming phenomena keep on occurring, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Agency, NOAA, US, in the IPCC report number 101, projected this precipitation change by the end of 21st century in inches of liquid water per year. The color of yellow to brown indicated the decrease in precipitation, like this, while the white to blue color indicating the increased precipitation, like this. From this figure, we can find out the precipitation or rainfall is projected to be distributed unevenly. Most of the area in Australia, in India, Africa, Europe, and the United States are projected to experience precipitation decrease until approximately 50 inches. In the meanwhile, high increase of precipitation is predicted to be occurred in Pacific, and a slight increase of precipitation will occur as a northern part. Increasing precipitation over the ocean and decreasing precipitation on many continents suggests that the water resources available to humankind will decrease, even if total global precipitation does not change. Now, I would like to introduce the typical climate change phenomena occurred in Japan in recent years. Japanese language, guerrilla rainstorms are typical of torrential rain. It is not a formal weather term, but a sudden and difficult to predict local heavy rain, which is linked to military guerrilla. Guerrilla is, as you know well, a non-regular unit that makes heavy use of surprise attacks in the combat. It is an expression that the mass media substitute for the traditional used words such as showers, torrential rains, and convectional rains. The background photo shows a heavy rain occurred in Saitama Prefecture, Japan, on August 12, 2020. Due to such heavy rain, the roads were flooded. Water spouted from manholes, and passenger cars and buses were submerged on the road. It is a guerrilla rainstorm with a completely different amount of rainfall in a short time, but it has become usual in summer of Japan recently. I'm sorry, Japanese language. The linear precipitation zone, it means the linear precipitation zone is created a group of organized cumulonimbus clouds like this, which are series of developed rain clouds that occurs one after another, passing or stagnating in almost same place for several hours. Cumulonimbus clouds are typical that cause heavy rain in summer of Japan. Rain area with strong precipitation, extending linearly with a length of about 50 to 300 kilometers and width of about 20 to 50 kilometers. The background photo shows the rainfall intensity distribution due to the linear precipitation zone that caused heavy rainfall over a wide area centering on the Kyushu. This is Kyushu region for 10 days from July 3 to 13, 2020. From July 6 to 8, heavy rainfall occurred in the linear precipitation zone, mainly in northern and central Kyushu. And the 48 hours rainfall exceeded 500 millimeters, causing flood damage and sediment-related disaster. This graph shows the change in the number of extreme rains that occur in a year from 1975 to the present time from the meteorological data of 1,300 locations observed in Japan. In Japan, extreme rainfall is defined as a rainfall intensity of more than 50 millimeters per hour. As can be seen from this graph, the frequency of extreme rainfalls fluctuates from year to year. But as a trend, red colored line shows there is an increasing trend year by year. Frequency of extreme rainfall per 1,300 locations is increasing by here 28.9 times in 10 years. The intensified flood damage caused by extreme rainfall in recent years in Japan can be summarized as shown in this figure. There are two main factors that occurs an intensified flood damage. As mentioned above, the most important factors is climate change that has made the temporal and spatial uneven distribution of precipitation remarkable. On the other hand, another important factor is a decline in the retention of precipitation in catchment area, which caused by urbanization, decrease of paddy field area, wetland disappearance, abolishment of small reservoirs, and mismanagement of natural forest. These two major factors synergistically cause intensified damage as river flooding, like this, and debris flow, like this, and reservoir collapse in Japan recent year. The exact opposite impact of the global warming on precipitation in Japan is described in this picture. In Japan, the snow falls during winter from December to February, especially on the mountainous areas. Then, during spring, approximately March to May, as the temperature is getting warmer, the snow melts from the mountainous area and the water flows through the river. The water in the river will be used by farmers for farming activities, especially land preparation and paddling for rice planting. The water demand at the beginning of rice cultivation at April or May reaches to maximum around 200 millimeter per day. Very large water demand. Hence, snowfall in winter is very important water resource, especially for rice cultivation in Japan. But recently, the air temperature is getting warmer. The amount of snowfall extremely decreased. Moreover, no snow falls at some area anymore. Hence, almost no snow melting during spring, almost no contribution to river discharge. Water discharge in the river is very low. River is dry. The dam sometimes already dry and no water. This has been a big problem for farmers. In Japan, the water for planting rice is very limited. It is predicted that in the couple of years in the future, the Japanese farmer is difficult to cultivate rice because the water is not enough for land preparation and paddling in paddy field. This figure shows an example of snowfall decrease in Hokkaido. This is showing the annual volume of snowfall decrease in Hokkaido, Japan, taken from the publication of Japan Meteorology Agency's title of Hokkaido Climate Change, published on 2017. Hokkaido is located as the northernmost land in Japan and belong to the subarctic climate and coldest in Japan. The color indicates the difference of annual snowfall volume between the end of 20th century and the prediction at the end of 21st century. The red color, the red color indicates the decrease in annual snowfall in centimeter, while the blue color indicates the increase of annual snowfall. This figure confirms that the annual snowfall volume in Hokkaido decreased until 150 centimeter, almost all areas. Only a few areas in the middle part of Hokkaido where the snowfall remains similar or little increase. This condition will affect low discharge of river during spring because the amount of melting ice decreases as well. This picture is the evidence of the decreasing discharge of rivers in Japan. This is a picture of dam in Toyokawa district in Japan, near the Gifu prefecture. The upper in the left picture is showing the dam during summer and fall, winter, autumn, with normal water height. But you can see the picture as a light below is showing the dam condition during spring in 2019, almost empty, no water. That is because of decreasing snowfall phenomena due to climate change. Now, effective rainfall is defined as the amount of precipitation that is actually added and stored in the soil layer of root zone and available for plant growth. So it is very important for agriculture. As our expectation, the precipitation changes will also influence the amount of the effective rainfall. The increasing variability of rainfall causes the difficulties in predicting the effective rainfall and effective soil moisture for crops. The uncertainty of rainfall will make it difficult to predict effective soil moisture, which is very important in agricultural water management. Therefore, it also becomes difficult to control the irrigation water for crops. Farmers think that the rainwater is enough for crop during wet season, but suddenly short drought occurs, and farmers must immediately need water for the crops. The difficulties in predicting rainfall will cause troubles to farmers to determine the irrigation schedule. Therefore, it is more difficult to control the irrigation for agriculture as well as controlling water distribution from the dam. In Indonesia, the climate change resulting into the uncertainty of season onset. This slide is showing the dry and wet season distribution every year from 2008 to 2018. At our study site, Gondang Glejo district, Central Java. That red color is dry season and blue color is wet season. We observed that the onset or the beginning of rainy season were not same every year like this. Sometimes it is very late, as you see in 2008, 2011, 2013, while it was quite early 2010 and 2016. Also, this picture is showing the duration of wet season. Wet season here. Duration of this wet season changed every year. Sometimes it was long, as you see in 2010 for 10 months. But sometimes it was very short, as you see in 2011, very short, less than 5 months. This is certainly promoting problems in managing the agricultural activity, especially for rain-fed agriculture system. Moreover, our study also showed the extreme weather phenomena occurred in the same study site. The red circle are short drought phenomena. Short drought phenomena means no or little rain less than 50 millimeters per 10 days during wet season. And the blue circles are the false rain phenomena. False rain phenomena means high rainfall more than 50 millimeters per day per 10 days during dry season. Some farmers must face crop failure because they don't have enough water when the short drought phenomenon came, like this. But they sometimes experienced crop failure during dry season because they misunderstood by false rain phenomena that wet season has started, but actually not yet. Many times farmers experienced lost crop because of the unstable climate. So the combination of certain uncertain season onset, changing in season duration, and increasing extreme weather phenomenon had put farmers into very difficult situation that makes farmers very vulnerable to crop failure, which also means they are prone to poverty. Now, we would like to share you some of the results of our study on how to mitigate and adapt with the climate change, especially on irrigation for agriculture. From now, I will introduce the research result of 3 strategies for mitigation and adaptation. The first strategy is small farm reservoir by managing water movement inside the farm. The second is soil mulching by controlling water movement above soil surface. The third is deficit irrigation by controlling water movement in root zone. The main purpose of these 3 is to decrease water consumption or increase rainfall availability. It can be said that the common feature of these 3 methods are as follows. Water management can be done in small scale, for example, inside farm, above soil surface, or in root zone. And so big dam or facilities are not needed. As a result, farmers can carry out these methods by themselves. The next topic is the first method of small farm reservoir. Now, I would like to introduce the popular spots for foreigner tourists in Gifu Prefecture one by one. Background photo shows a traditional fishing method named as Ukai in Nagara River, Gifu Prefecture. A traditional fishing method that uses domesticated cormorant to catch sweet fish. It is fishing method found in China and Japan from ancient time. In Japan, aristocrats and samurai means soldier, have been building cormorant fishing since more than 1,000 years ago. And even today, cormorant fishing is practiced in various places for many tourists. If you come to Japan, please enjoy to see the cormorant fishing in Gifu Prefecture. So now I will introduce the research project of small farm reservoir briefly. If you want to know it in detail, please open and see this site of YouTube. She is lecturer Yana of Subaras Maritime University. You can see the YouTube site by this title on Google. This video was edited by Dr. Komaria. And small farm reservoir is one of water harvesting agriculture techniques. If you want to know what is water harvesting agriculture techniques, please read this article written by Dr. Komaria. The title is The Development of Water Harvesting Research for Agriculture, published by e-Journal of Reviews in Agricultural Science. You can download the PDF file of this paper for free. And you can find in my research map, as I introduced at the beginning of this lecture. This paper is a very good article for understanding, and it has been cited many times by international journals. Please access here. Let's start by talking about these topics of what are the benefits of SFR. SFR means small farm reserve. I will introduce the research result carried out by Dr. Arianto. You can see it in detail by this article published by the Journal of Rainwater Catchment System. As you can see it uploaded in my research map site, as mentioned before. Please read it later. First is the establishment of small farm reservoir. From now, I call it as SFR. An SFR is a small farm reservoir on farmers' land to collect runoff water from surrounding small catchment area. The size of SFR varies. Some SFR was only 3 multiplied 10 square meters, but some are about 5 multiplied 22 square meters. The size depends on farmers' financial condition and land availability. For safety reasons of children's fall accident, the depth of SFR should not exceed 2 meters. To minimize water loss due to percolation at bottom, the SFR should be lining with any material, for example, this thick plastic tarpaulin. This SFR is one kind of water harvesting method for farmlands. It would store water during high rainfall, and the storage water can be used for supplemental irrigation during a few short drought periods. It is owned by one farmer's family. The experiment was conducted during December 2013 and June 2014 at rain-fed agricultural fields located in Gondang Karanggyal, Central Java, Indonesia. The climate is classified to tropical monsoon, as you know. that has a dry season from April, May to September, October, and rainy season from October, November to March, April in a typical year. This work was supported by JSPS program, Japan, and Directorate General of Higher Education, DGHE, Republic of Indonesia. 5 SFRs were constructed by digging soil and coating the floor by plastic taps to prevent water infiltration. The storage volume of an SFR was designed so that it was able to store the total runoff from the catchment area during the daily maximum rainfall in 2012 to 2013. Based on these reference SFR volumes, actual SFR volumes were determined through discussion with farmers and the field owners. SFR1 and SFR3 were smaller than the reference volume due to the restriction of the field area. On the other hand, SFR4 and SFR5 were larger than the reference volumes. In particular, the reference of SFR5 requested to conduct a larger SFR than the reference volume because of the larger irrigation area than the catchment area. The irrigation method were classified to 3 types: manual watering, pumping, and siphon. Water levels of each SFR were recorded every 10 minutes by a water level data logger installed at the bottom of SFR. Climatic data were collected by an automatic weather station set near the location of SFR2 here. Dr. Arianto obtained the following result by the water balance observation of 5 SFRs. We found that SFR could collect approximately 14 to 30% of surface runoff water during rainfall, with the irrigation area up to 1.8 times larger than catchment area. But it depends on some factors. Dr. Arianto discussed the benefit of SFR. The beginning of wet season is getting difficult to predict. Sometimes the rain comes, but sometimes it stops. So farmers confused to start planting. So it makes the planting time delay. Finally, the farmers can plant only one crop season. But with SFR, the rainwater during the initial rain can be collected. So when the rain stops, the water from the SFR can be used to supply irrigation to the crops. Therefore, the planting time will be earlier and can prolong the crop season and become two-season crops cultivation. Another benefit of SFR are the following. As I informed you before, that the uncertain season onset and short drought phenomena can lead to crop failure. For example, this picture is showing that the rainfall is not enough for second crop season because the dry season starts earlier from April. Also, during wet season, the short drought occurred suddenly for some days. The water is not available for crops. If there is no supplement water, the crop must fail. But the existence of SFR will be very helpful because SFR harvests rainwater, so it will supply the water for crops during second season and during short drought. Hence, it will prevent crop failure. Next steps, next steps of our study also establish a simulation model for SFR water harvesting in order to project optimal storage capacity of SFR or irrigation area. Optimal storage capacity of SFR or irrigation area. This model consists of three sub-components: catchment area, SFR, and irrigation district. Input into the SFR are rainfall R and runoff from the catchment area QR, and outputs from the SFR are evaporation from water surface EV, irrigation water to irrigation area QI, and overflow from SFR QO1. Dr. Arianto proposed new two indexes. First is Water Storage Index, WSI. The second is Water Demand Index, WDI, as expressed by this equation. Two parameters in this equation, HR is harvesting ratio and AC is catchment area. These two parameters are given in each SFR. So WSI means non-dimensional capacity of SFR, and WDI means also non-dimensional irrigation area. This figure can be obtained by the simulation model in case of two crop seasons of rice in 1 year. This figure shows the adequate range of the irrigation area for a fixed WSI value. The boundary line indicates the maximum adequate irrigation area that can be supported by the given SFR capacity. The adequate range increase with the increasing WSI like this until the boundary line reaches the curvature as a critical WDF value. This indicates that an SFR should be designed to be smaller than the value as a curvature. Data of actual 5 SFRs are plotted on this figure like this. All data are located in the adequate region if the daily population was as small as 0. This line. We can obtain the optimal cultivation area corresponding to the designed SFR volume. I think that this method proposed by Dr. Arianto will be very useful for establishing the reasonable SFR irrigation planning. Next important problem to be discussed in the economic feasibility of SFR. Dr. Rosaki, he was graduate Subrasmanet University student. Dr. Rosaki tried to solve this problem. These figures show the relation among B by C and catchment area and SFR capacity in case of using tarpaulin and concrete as seeding materials. B by C, B B shows the benefit obtained from irrigation by using SFR. C shows the cost necessary for construction and maintaining SFR. If this value, B by C, is greater than 1, this line, greater than 1, this project for construction is feasible for an economic point of view. Based on the analysis of the concrete and Tauparian B by C values, concrete is recommended as lining material of SFR. The construction cost of SFR Tauparian is very lower, but its lining cost is higher compared to SFR concrete because Tauparian needs to be replaced every 3 years with additional lining cost. On the contrary, the construction cost of SFR concrete is high, but the lining cost is very low because it can stand for 10 years and only requires periodic cleaning after construction, which can be done by the farmers and his family. Conclusion, SFR is a small imitation of dam. Which we should do SFR or dam. Each of these methods has its own requirement and benefits. SFR can be established in small area with small catchment, but dam needs large area with larger catchment area. SFR requires only small investment cost, but dam needs a lot of money to be constructed. The maintenance of SFR is very simple, but dam is very complicated. The SFR needs a low energy for the operation. Sometimes we only need gravitational force to distribute the water. But dam needs more energy for the operational and water distribution. SFR is more specific, so supplemental water needs for agriculture. But dam is for many purposes, including electrical power generation, clean water, agriculture, and fisheries. So farmers level, we recommend the SFR. This is a list of reference related to water harvesting and small farm reservoir. And the yellow highlight reference were introduced by this lecture, and you can access all of them through my research map, as mentioned at the beginning of this lecture. Next, I explain the research result about soil mulching. Soil mulching is traditional and well-used method for many purposes as preventing soil loss, decreasing evaporation, and controlling weed overgrowth. Many kinds of materials were applied as soil mulching for various purposes in cultivation. I introduced the good review article for summarizing soil mulching research written by Dr. Abdul Kader. He graduated the master course of Gifu University under my supervise. This article has been cited by many researchers, and you can read it through my research map. If you have a time, please read it. Soil mulching is covering soil surface, thus evaporation will be suppressed. This will conserve the soil moisture. Hence, moisture will be more available to support plant growth and yield. One of the studies showed that mulching reduced evaporation up to 80%. Therefore, the irrigation water will be more efficient. I'm sorry. Oh, Dr. Komaria carried out very important experiment in the pineapple plantation located in Lampung province from July 2001 to September 2002. Very old. Oh. The objective of this study was to investigate the influence of tapioca waste and rice husk organic matter on soil temperature and soil moisture under pineapple cultivation. 5 mulching treatments, namely control means no mulch, rice husks, cassava bagus, cassava peel, and 0.5 millimeter black polyethylene film were applied. Rice husk, rice husk are the hard protecting covering of rice grains that are removed during post-harvest and are commonly used for organic mulching materials around the study site. Cassava peel is a cortex of cassava tuberous root that is removed in the tapioca processing industry. Then, when the central part of the cassava tuberous root is ground and pressed under high pressure to extract the juice, the solid waste remained is a cassava bagus. Soil temperatures and soil moisture content from soil surface to the depth of 30 centimeters were measured automatically in the middle of each treatment at 10 minutes interval. Solar radiation, wind velocity, air temperature, evaporation, and rainfall were measured inside of test field, as shown by this figure here. This figure shows the monthly mean daily maximum soil temperature at 2.5 centimeter depth. It can be seen that the maximum soil temperature under the black polyethylene film mulch was the highest of all, like this. On the other hand, the organic mulches decrease the heat conduction into the soil surface by retaining the incoming soil radiation heat. Thus, maximum soil temperature under organic mulches, especially the rice husk and cassava peel, were lower than the control. But despite cassava bagus also being an organic material, the maximum soil temperature beneath it was higher than the control. Yellow line, higher than control, black line. That happened because cassava bagus is a material that can readily undergo fermentation process. Therefore, the increased maximum soil temperature under cassava bagus mulching was caused by heat released through its fermentation process. Oh. I'm sorry. On the other hand, rice husk and cassava peel were slowly decomposed, possibly due to the cellulose contained in this material. These 4 figures showed the comparison of soil temperature profiles of each treatment in August 18, 2001. These profiles are the hourly soil temperature at 4 depths. I'm sorry, here. In a single day. Therefore, there are 24 lines like this for each treatment. It can be noted from these figures that generally soil temperature fluctuation gradually decrease in all treatments from the soil surface to towards the deeper layer. Soil temperature of black polyethylene film here were higher than the control. Control here, black film here. And soil temperature profile shows a wider range for both minimum and maximum soil temperature. On the other hand, the soil temperature fluctuation of organic mulching are smaller than the control and black film because the direct sunshine radiation was absorbed into organic matter of mulching materials and decreased heat transfer into soil layer. Among three treatments of organic mulching, the fluctuation of cassava bugs is biggest due to its fermentation effect, as mentioned before. Dr. Komaria could summarize these complicated phenomena in 4 groups in easy to understand manner. We also found another method to conserve soil moisture, which is by providing holes between the plant to catch the rainfall on plastic mulching. As you can see in this picture, 小マリアさん、あと30分ですか？小マリアさん、あと30分？
はい。すみません。はい。あと30分です。
はいはい。As you can see in this picture, there are blank hole between the holes for crops. The blank hole will allow rainwater to infiltrate into soil layers, while the plastic mulch itself will minimize evaporation from soil. Also, it will suppress the weed. So we can see double benefit from this method: blank hole to provide space for rainwater to infiltrate the soil layer, and plastic mulching to minimize evaporation from soil. I will explain the experiment carried out by Dr. Abdul Kader on 2016 at the research field located in Gift University. The research field was planted soybean under rain-fed condition. This experiment is composed of 6 treatments. Describe this table. No mulch treatment is controlled. 5 mulching materials were selected: rice straw, dry grass, shredded newspaper, silver-colored plastic film, and silver-colored plastic film with blank hole. This figure shows the daily rainfall and humidity for experimental duration from 18th May to 12th August 2015. During this experiment, there are 12 rainfall events, and the total rainfall is 520 millimeters. This table compares the effective rainfall ratio of plastic film with hole and bare treatment. Effective rainfall means the increase of soil moisture during rainfall. The effective rainfall ratio of plastic hole mulching is 25.3%, which is greater than plastic mulching 16.3%, and close to no mulching 29.60%. The effective rainfall utilization was higher in bare soils compared to other mulching due to directly rainfall infiltration. Also, plastic hole mulching uses low amount of effective rainfall than bare, but which are always higher compared to plastic mulch. The plastic hole treatment increased effective rainfall as much as 9% of total rainfall compared to plastic treatment, which indicated that the fall of plastic mulching enhanced the infiltration of rainfall to store in the crop root zone. Therefore, modified plastic hole mulching might be the best way to increase rainfall infiltration compared to traditional flat plastic mulching. This experiment aimed to clarify the effect of soil mulching to soil moisture extraction pattern, SMEP, and total readily available moisture. Please show this figure. Soil moisture extraction pattern was relatively uniform in plastic hole mulches. Besides, bare treatment showed higher moisture extraction in surface layer. Plastic mulch showed a similar trend like this. Like this, similar trend of moisture extraction pattern as plastic hole. On the other hand, soil moisture extraction pattern of bare treatment consumed moisture mostly from the upper layer, while all other treatment, plastic and plastic hole, consumed from both upper and deeper layer. And the total readily available moisture content, TRA, is influenced by the value of total available moisture and soil moisture extraction pattern. The plastic treatment showed the highest total readily available moisture, 57.3 millimeter, followed by plastic mulch with hole, 54 millimeter. Term of plastic and plastic hole treatment showed greater than bare value, 48 millimeter. The new index defined here, the ratio of total readily available moisture to total available moisture, means the availability of total available moisture as evapotranspiration, which is directly influenced by the characteristics of soil moisture extraction pattern. These values of mulching treatment, P and pH, were almost same, 0.84, but greater than bare, no mulching treatment. Consequently, plastic and plastic with hole treatment could utilize 84% of total available moisture effectively for evapotranspiration, whereas bare treatment utilized 76% of total available moisture. Thus, it is clear that mulching application increases total available moisture compared to no mulching by the reason why the ratio of total available moisture to total available moisture increased without changing.
先生すみません。あと5分です。あと、
5分
いや、プレゼンテーションですね。で、その後はディスカッションでいいですか？
まだ終わらへんね。
そう、今は12時40分。プレゼンテーションは45分までいいですか？1時まで。
いや、わかりました。もうディスカッションしますか？デフィシットイリゲーション。
まだですね。まだ大丈夫です。
いい？
はい。あと、 クフォンでいいはい、どうぞ。
どうしようかな。はい。
大丈夫です。Please continue, please continue.
はい。それじゃあ、next topics. OK? Next topics.
Yes, okay, okay, please.
ね。そう。The final topics is about deficit irrigation. Deficit irrigation is generally applied in the arid and semi-arid area with limited water resource. If you know the theory and practice of deficit irrigation in detail, you can see all in the water report published by FAO on 2000. どうしようかな。From now, I will introduce the research carried out by Professor Bustami Rosadi, Namp University, and Professor Shakir Uddin Ahmed, Dhaka University, Bangladesh, under my supervision. So, in Japan, as you know, land area is very small. It means the land resource is limited compared to water resource. And such a natural condition, the strategy to increase land productivity must be applied in agriculture for increasing the total crop yield. Therefore, field irrigation planning in Japan must adopt full irrigation. On the other hand, during dry season in Indonesia, water resource is limited compared to land resource. Under such natural conditions, the strategy to increase water productivity must be applied in agriculture for increasing the total crop yield. Therefore, field irrigation planning had better adopt deficit irrigation during dry season in tropical monsoon area like Indonesia. Deficit irrigation is one of the water management in the field to maximize the water use efficiency. I will introduce the research result carried out by Professor Bustami and Professor Shakir under my supervision. One of the effective methods, which is also very popular for climate change adaptation and mitigation, is by implementing the deficit irrigation. Deficit irrigation means maintaining crops productivity by giving less water. As you see in this picture, there are some levels of water status in soil. Saturation means soil is saturated with water or flooding. Field capacity is the optimum status of soil water for optimum growth. Maintaining the soil moisture from 70 to 100 of field capacity is a target of irrigation to maintain optimum crop production. This water management is called as full irrigation, but it will need much water. So deficit irrigation is a method of maintaining soil moisture from 0 to 70% of the field capacity without significant reduction in crop productivity. The principle of deficit irrigation is that less water for more crop yield. At first, I will introduce the research result carried out by Professor Bustami. This photo shows the effect of water deficit level on plant height. As water deficit level is increased, the plant height is becoming lower. This table is showing the effect of deficit level on flower number, pod number, and crop yield. So from this study, we found that water deficit levels up to 60% here did not reduce plant growth and yield significantly. And the water content of 60% water deficit level is called as critical water content. in deficit irrigation planning. Please see the above table. Land productivity of WD1, its full irrigation, is 9.130 gram per pot, but WD3, water deficit level up to 60% here, 7.88 gram per pot, and land productivity of WDC decreased to 80-60% of full irrigation like this. On the other hand, water productivity of WD1 full irrigation is 0.39 kilogram per cubic meter, but WD3 deficit irrigation is 0.44 kilogram per cubic meter, which is the highest of all water deficit levels, and increase 113 of full irrigation. This experiment shows that when water deficit levels is 60% of field capacity, water productivity is highest and can obtain the yield of soybean 1.130 times of full irrigation to the same water resource. 小丸谷さん、
はい。
もう終わりましょうか。もう時間ないよね。
デフィシットイリゲーションはもう終わるんですか？
いっぱい。
あ、まだあります。
うん、もうやめましょうか。まあ、あとはパワーポイント見てくださいって。
あ、はい、OK です。
はい。
Okay, you already reached the reference of deficit irrigation now. Okay, so maybe we can start. はい、maybe we can go to this discussion now. Okay. Okay. Everyone, thank you very much for your participation until now. I can see that now Ibu Mercy already raising her hand to ask question. Miss Mercy, please, you can turn on unmute your mic.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, Sensei.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
My name is Mercy. I'm from agrotechnology. So probably my question is a little bit basic for you, but I need the explanation from you. My first question is, in the beginning of the slide, you said about the phenomenon of false rain and then short dry in rainy season. So could you explain that phenomenon, how it can happen in Gondang Rejo, Indonesia?
Thank you very much, Miss Mercy.
The second question, is it possible for me?
Oh, okay. Yes, please. I am not noting the first one. The first one was about the false rain and the short drought, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And
thank you. The second, please. Yeah.
Is about the small form reservoir. Yeah. So how the proportion or how wide a farmer should have a cultivation area if he or she want to build a small form reservoir. Thank you.
So the question is how wide, how big should be? Is that right?
初めの質問のショートドロートがなんて？
はい。初めては
ショートドロートが
why the false rain and the short drought phenomena occur? なぜですか？short drought とfalse rain が行うんですか？
It is very difficult.
Number one.
それわからないな。fluctuation ですよ。fluctuation. I cannot explain mechanism of fluctuation. It is very difficult for me.
Okay, so Miss Mercy.
I'm sorry. 2つ目は
Okay. So the second question, 二つ目は、その SFR を作るのがどれぐらい、の知識を持たないといけないんですか？
SFR 作るのに
はい。
これは、
作るのに。
小丸屋さん知ってるでしょう。僕よくわからない。農家が穴掘るんね。もし機械を使えば1日でできるけども、農家の方がみんなで手で掘ると何ヶ月もかかるよね。そういうことやろ？
いや、どれぐらいあられやですね。1ヘクタールか2ヘクタールぐらいあれば、その SFR を作らないといけない。まあ、作った方がいいということか。
それイリゲーションエリアのこと？イリゲーションエリアってこと？
はい、そうです。はい、イリゲーションアレアです。
イリゲーションエリアが1ヘクタールとか2ヘクタール、どのぐらいあったら SFR がいるかって？
はい、そうです。はい。
その質問はちょっと僕意味わからんねんけど、どんなに畑が小さくても大きくても、ね、ショートドロートには水がないから、灌漑水はいるでしょ。
はい、
それから
そうです。
イリゲーションエリアが大きくても小さくても、ショートドロートは起こるので、イリゲーションウォーターはいるよね。だからそれはイリゲーションエリアの問題じゃないと思う。
はい。
そう思わない？そう思わない？
はい。Okay, so Miss Mercy, I try to translate because Professor Senge is my professor when I was in Japan, and he really likes me to speak in Japanese than in English. So for the first question, he doesn't know the mechanism why it occurs, because it more to meteorological science, the physical process in atmosphere of the false rain and the short drought occurred. So we are very sorry, Professor Senge cannot answer this because it's really technically.
小森さん、僕の感覚で言うと、あったかくなると、ね、ワーミングするとエネルギーが大きくなるので、エネルギーが、水蒸気の移動が激しくなる。運動が激しくなると、ばらつきが大きくなる。わかる？
はい、yes。
ばらつきが大きくなるということは、雨が降ったり降らなかったりすることが起こってくる。だから、運動エネルギーが大きくなると、雨の降り方、水蒸気の移動も激しくなって、空間的なばらつき、時間的なばらつきが出てくる。だから、それが僕は原因やと思うねんけど、僕のこれはあくまでも感覚です。はい。
Yeah. So, for a simple way to explain why the short drought and false state occur is because the warming temperature recently on the earth caused the imbalance of energy on the earth, and this is causing the distribution of rainfall is become imbalance too. So there is a big change in rainfall, whether in distribution or in amount of rainfall. So the the main cause is because the heating of the earth atmosphere. That's the main course for the number one question. And then for the number two, how big the area that a farmer should have to construct or to establish a small farm reservoir. So it's not about how big the area of the farming, but because it's for conservation. So no matter how small is the farming area, but the water conservation is very important. So it's not the matter of how big or the small of the area, but it's the matter of conserving water for the future. I hope you can understand this answer. And yes, please. Do you have any?
I'm sorry.
Yes.
So Thank you so much. So, that's very interesting for the second question. So how many percent that we have to use our land for the water conservation? If we have 1 hectare, for example.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
So sensei, for example, 例えば私は、1ヘクタールがの持っているんですけど、どれパーセントぐらいか、その 1ヘクタールからこの SFR 作ればいいんですか
？1ヘクタールのファームに対イリゲーションエリアに対して、SFR は
どれ何パーセントぐらい ?1%? 10%?
何が 1% っていうのは
例えば1ヘクタール100 meter square。
それはイリゲーションエリアだけでは決まらなくて、もう一つはキャッチメントエリア。キャッチメントエリアがどれぐらいあるかっていうこと、それから SFR の大きさはキャッチメントエリアと、それからイリゲーションエリアのウォーターバランスで決まってくる。それはアリアントの論文を見ないと分からない。アリアントの論文で、キャッチメントエリアとイリゲーションエリアのウォーターバランスアナリシスをして SFR を決めてて、その図面がここにあそこにあったアリアントの論文のどれだったかな、
モデルですかね。
モデルの計算結果に WSI と WDI のグラフがあったよね。
Yes.
それから、あれはパディフィールドだよ。パディフィールドだよ。
はい、パディフィールド。
パディフィールド、イリゲーションエリア、パディフィールドの場合の、WDI と WSI の図を使ったら出てくる。それはキャッチメントエリアとイリゲーションエリアとパーコレーション。その3つのパラメータがあれば、必要なSFR のゴールが出てきます。
Okay. So, Ms. Mercy, the size of SFR is not depend on the farming land area, but depends on the catchment area. The catchment area, and then number 2 is the area for irrigation, and then number 3 is the evaporation. And you can, if you want to see more detail about how to calculate that, Bapak Dwi Priyoarianto, his PhD dissertation, searching for the model. So he produced the model about the best size for the SFR based on the catchment area, evapotranspiration, and the irrigation. So if you have time, maybe you can ask Dr. Dwi Priyoarianto, Pak Ari, to explain in detail about his dissertation. Thank you very much.
This figure.
Oh yes, so this model is especially for rice, for paddy field. So if we need another commodity, we should recalculate this model. Okay, so you can just use the result of the water storage index. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yes, I already asked. Thanks, Sensei. Miss Mercy is one of our lecturer. Mercy さんは UNS の先生なんですけど、4月から広島大学Bu Mercy mau kemana Bu? Bulan 4 nanti?
Osaka Daigaku.
Osaka Daigaku nih. Doctoral degree program Haji Marimas.
Osaka Daigakuは工学部しかないよ。農学部ないよ。
農学部di sana jurusannya apa Bu?
Bioteknologi.
Bioteknologi. 工学部にある。
Congratulations.
Yes.
Merci Sensei. Thank you so much.
Sorry. 90分で喋るんやと思った。ごめんなさい。
いえ。大丈夫です、先生。はい。なんか、 everyone.
メールで送ってくださいって。
Yes, I am saying that. So everyone, if you have another question again, please contact me. You can send me to my WhatsApp or my email. I'm sure all of you, because you are almost all of you my students and my colleagues. Please send by WhatsApp or by email to me. I will make a list and send it to Professor Senge.
メール出すこれね。
Yes, and let's hands to hand save the water for food. Professor Senge, because
I'm
now
very
it's
sorry.
already 1 p.m. and some students have another lecture from 1. We wish you thank you. どうもありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。はい、すいません。
大変感謝いたします。
時間が
Thank you so much.
時間が間違えまして、ごめんなさい。
いえ、大丈夫です、先生。
はい、どうも。はい、ありがとう。
Okay, to everyone, thank you very much for your attendance. Terima kasih banyak. Saya mohon maaf jika ada kesalahan jika ada yang saya sampaikan kurang berkenan selama memoderatori guest lecture ini. Saya tutup dengan mengucapkan hamdalah walhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Senge Sensei.
Terima kasih.
Terima kasih sekali.
Sama-sama.
Thank you so much.
Terima kasih, Sensei.
Terima kasih. Oh, Rio.
Yeah.
Rio.
Konnichiwa, Sensei. Konnichiwa, Sensei.
Konnichiwa.
Sensei. I'm late because
See you, Sensei. Next time.
next time.
See you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Trio. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih.
Sama-sama, Bu Kokom.
Hai,
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much.
Maaf ya, Bu. Kokom ini tadi mengajar, jadi masuk ternyata udah selesai.
Rio.
Oke, betul apa-apa, Prof.
Hai,
Sensei. Hai, oke, des. Hai,
arigatou. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih. Bye-bye. Thank you so much, Sensei.
切れない。はい、ありがとう。
はい、ありがとうございました。Thank you.
切れないの。
Terima kasih.
切れないですか？
あれ、切れない。
I'm sorry. You cannot. はい。はい。リブでも OK ですよ、先生。
切ろうもちろん切れへんねんって。あ、これか。
Yes, bye-bye. Udah. Oke, terima kasih kepada Bapak Ibu, rekan-rekan dan adik-adik semuanya. Dengan demikian saya akhiri. Jika ada yang ingin ditanyakan nanti silakan dapat menghubungi saya secara pribadi. Terima kasih, G. Apakah ada di sini yang dari jauh-jauh? Okay, thank you very much everyone. I'm leaving now. Assalamualaikum. See you again. Bye-bye.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.